Hi everybody, this is Judy at Judy in the Kitchen. Today we're talking about buckwheat, and I've got some quick tips and ideas for you for using buckwheat. Buckwheat does take a little bit of time to cook, maybe about 15 minutes or so. And that's not a lot of time, but for some people they might not have that amount of time if they wanted to eat some for breakfast. So tip number one would be just to cook it in advance. When you do that, you obviously want to store it in a sealed container in the refrigerator. Use them up as quickly as you can, generally within 4 days or so. But what can you do with these cooked buckwheat groats? You can use them for breakfast, quickly warm them up. You can add them to salads. You can add them to a veggie bowl. You can add them or use them as a side dish. You can add them to casseroles, soups and stews, and any other side dish that you want, or you can just add them, use them as a side dish all their own. Now when you're cooking buckwheat, make sure you follow the directions that are on the package that you bought. Different brands may tend to cook at different time frames. So you don't want to rely on just some general time frame. You want to look at the brand labeling first and make sure you follow those directions. Now you can always taste it along the way, and if you like it a little more chewy, cook it for less time. If you like it a little softer, a little more done, cook it for more time. You be the judge, so it's cooked your way, but use your package directions as a starting point. Now the flavor of buckwheat is naturally toasty and nutty, but you can toast your groats even more, and be aware that when you toast them, especially since they already have a toasted nutty flavor, when you toast them it's going to be intensified that much more. So be aware of that if you've never toasted them. Start with a small amount and just do a small amount so you can try them out first to make sure that you actually like them that way. Soba noodles are popular in Japan. They're made from buckwheat flour, sometimes with a little added wheat flour in there. If you're sensitive to gluten and you want to try soba noodles, be sure to check the labeling and make sure it's made with buckwheat but no added wheat flour. Buckwheat, despite its name, does not have any gluten in it. But of course, if the soba noodles have added wheat flour to them, then it's a no-no if you are sensitive to gluten. In the United States, the term kasha refers to toasted buckwheat groats. Now you may or may not like kasha, but if you're looking for raw buckwheat, you don't want to buy kasha. You want to buy something that's labeled as buckwheat, usually buckwheat groats. Now the raw buckwheat will be lighter in color than kasha. It should be a light brown. It might even have a slight greenish tint to it, but raw buckwheat in itself won't have a lot of aroma, whereas the roasted groats will have a strong, nutty, toasted aroma and flavor to them. So you want to make sure you buy the appropriate thing, whatever it is you're looking for at the time. If you want to toast your own raw buckwheat groats, it's not a hard thing to do. You just place a small amount at a time on a large dry skillet over medium-high heat. Do not add any fat or oil. This is a dry frying pan. And stir the groats constantly for 4 or 5 minutes until they're toasted as much as you want. And they should be cooked according to the package directions, and use that as a guideline on how to cook them. You can always cook them for less or more time if you want. I do hope this helps. This is Judy at Judy in the Kitchen. Bye for now.